So I need to break this down into two, the compliance market and financial crime compliance. In compliance, it's actually been pretty busy, consistently so, especially with the superannuation companies and insurance companies still needing to build out their 3 lines of defence. It's been very quiet across the big 4 banks, which isn't surprising as they have been going through some redundancies. Broader than that, if I look to the energy industry, they've had a huge amount of regulatory change and regulatory pressure. So there has been an increase in demand for compliance professionals to join that sector. Privacy too, I mean, I've said it before and I will say it again, it is still a growing market. The reforms are imminent this year, and so because of that, there has been a greater demand for those skill sets. In the financial crime market, it's certainly been a bit slower. We have had a new CEO for Austrac, Brendan Thomas, which is very exciting, and he's obviously come out already to say that he will be looking into pubs and clubs. There's already been some enforcement action this year too, across Sky City and also Sportsbet, so it wouldn't surprise me if we're still seeing growth in that area later this year. The last 6 months can probably be defined in 1 word, 2 words, cost cutting, which is never a term that recruiters or anyone else likes to hear. Realistically, it means that you're just doing even more with less. And that's certainly been the case for most in the financial services. With cost cutting has meant redundancies, so we've seen redundancies across the big banks, but also the consultancies that have had quite a tough time and tough start to the year due to reputation, but also again that cost cutting. With the redundancies, there was then an influx of senior candidates coming into the market. This then saturated the market at the senior level, which led to professionals taking on lower level roles just to ensure that they had the opportunities there. As a result, more broadly, I would say that salaries have finally levelled out across risk, compliance and financial crime. Dare I mention Tranche 2? Tranche 2 are the high-risk entities that could now be included in the AML regime. That's your lawyers, your real estate agents. We're currently in the second consultation period, which will hopefully be concluded ideally towards the end of this year. And you would think that these industries are now starting to think about what they would need to do to ensure that they are adhering to the new AML policies. Tranche 2 may still be a pipe dream, but privacy reforms are imminent. As early as August in 2024, we should be hearing more, which should mean, again, an increase in demand in this skill set. A skill set that is niche, and we don't have, I'd say, enough capability in Australia at the moment. The biggest piece of advice I can give to candidates at the moment is to really nail your interview. It sounds obvious, but really take the time to work out what your motivations are for the role, for the organisation that you're going for. Understand what the pressure points are for the business. Do your research into what they're going through. Are they going through an enforceable undertaking at the moment? Is there any regulatory scrutiny on them? Be sure that you know these things going into it so that you can impress whoever you're going to be speaking to. My advice for clients would be to be transparent with candidates about where you are with your risk maturity. Candidates want a challenge. That's usually the motivating factor for them looking, but they'll want to know whether it is going to be an uphill battle with the business or whether you've got regulatory scrutiny or regulatory pressure through an enforceable undertaking. Whilst I didn't mention before about the influx in senior candidates to the market, the junior end is still highly competitive. So that's anything senior analyst level at 110 package to manager at 160 package. My advice if you are recruiting in this space is to still move quickly. By that I mean if you find someone that you like, make sure they've met all the right people, but don't hesitate in terms of getting an offer out to them.